So this is pretty simple. We're done for it, starting to get tight on me back here. Whoop. Going to the other side and get the other side done. What up, YouTube? Today we're gonna be putting this MMD Roush style hood scoop on this 2015 Mustang GT. So we don't have the template for this because kind of bought it secondhand, but it's not gonna be a problem. We're gonna still get the holes marked and we're gonna get it put up on this hood and it's gonna be bitching. The template for this, we actually called American Muscle trying to get the template and they wouldn't even sell us one. So what we're gonna do is get the bolts here, and I put the bolts in and I covered them with some tape, and then we're gonna put probably some polish or rubbing compound or something like that on the head of each one of these bolts, and then we're gonna line it up onto the car here and sit it down and let that mark where we need to drill our holes at. But first, I've got to scrape all this good old adhesive off so we can put new adhesive on. It was a pain in the ass, but I got all the old adhesive off and put the new 3M tape. It's kind of cold, so I took my heat gun there and kind of warmed the double-sided tape up a little bit to make sure that it's pressed down and really sticking good. And I've got the tape over these bolts. And we're about to try to locate this onto the hood here. And the tape is so it won't scratch the paint, of course, in case anyone's wondering. So what I've done here is set it up onto the car and got myself some reference points here. You see I put the tape and then cut my line. And what I do is get it to where I got some reference points to line this back up. Made sure that it was straight in the front here. And everything was equal distance. Got me a reference point of tape here. And it's lifted up a little bit because we haven't put anything to mark our holes yet to drill. So I'm about to take this off, and once I get it off, I'm gonna put, I think I'm gonna try some polishing compound first. And when I put the polishing compound on the tips of these screws, sit it back down in its place, and I'm gonna get where I need to drill at. So this is what we have here. Just a little piece of this compound dot everywhere the holes go. So I'm gonna start off with a 1/8 or a 1/16 inch drill bit straight in the center of these holes. And then what I'm gonna do is let the paste that's there catch the shavings and then blot and try to get the shavings up. And then I'm gonna put down a piece of tape for when I drill the bigger holes, keep it from fraying the paint around the edges. So what we've got here is I went ahead and drilled my pilot holes, and I put my piece of tape down on all of those. It's going really, really well. I'm gonna go ahead and take this underhood protector or insulator or whatever you want to call it, beautification piece off of here. And I've got this tool right here. If you don't have this tool, what I've used in the past is screwdrivers and pliers and gotten them out, or just pliers. There's several different ways. You can get your hand in behind here and get your fingers around it, kind of like what this does, and pop them out. But this right here is by far the best way. I found these on, I think, eBay, $7. I bought a kit of them, interior trim panel. They're kind of rough around the edges, but they work really well for what I'm doing here. So anyway, I'm gonna get this off, and that way I don't drill through it for the next step. What I want to do here on these holes, I felt this important to mention, is go ahead and drill down through both layers, but you know, make sure you're not drilling down like into the intake or something like that. So you're going to want to stop your drill bit. The next layer isn't but about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch past the first portion, the outer skin of the hood. There's another layer there, and you're going to widen those up so you can get your socket or whatever in from the bottom side. All right, so I followed the holes underneath and kind of drilled them out, and we're gonna get a little bit of touch up and run around them at a later time. Here's the other one. This is the MMD again. The Roush has about, seems like 20 holes you got to drill in your hood. This one right here is not but 5, and I just got these big enough, just enough to where I can fit my socket up in there to secure the 10mm bolts that we got. Okay, so we got this back on, and tape marks are lined up. I've already taken the tape off the sides and the back, but all those was lined up as well. And ready to start pulling for this adhesive. And once we get the adhesive pulled, I'm gonna pick the hood back up and tighten the bolts the rest of the way down. As you can see here, we got the bolts all started and kind of snug, but everything's lining up and turning out pretty well. We basically got a Roush Stage 2 here, just about. So this is pretty simple. I had these kind of taped down so I didn't lose them. This is from the 3M. You just pull them. Nobody's ever done this before. It's starting to get tight on me back here towards the back. Whoop. All right, figures one that I videotape. I'm gonna have to lift up on this with a plastic tool and finish pulling this out of here. So, but I'm gonna go on to the other side and get the other side done in the front here. Just pull this stuff out of that brake on me. I got it on the other side. Here's how I did on this side. Got some pieces of tape here so I didn't mark, finish, take my pry tool and get up underneath it and pull the hood scoop up just a little bit. The tape wound up getting turned around, and that's why it broke. Never really seen 3M tape do that, but for whatever reason, it did it on both sides. The back and the front seem to be pretty well fine. So I'm gonna finish taking the rest of this off and then tighten down the bolts and we'll be just about done. The underhood insulator is in, ready to go. One thing to keep in mind here is this center one here with the MMD hood scoop. That's where the bolt goes, is right through that same hole. So what you're gonna have to do, or what I recommend doing, what we're gonna do here is take a little bit of clear silicone and take your factory little push clip here and then silicone it to the underhood piece. That way it doesn't look like there's just a hole there under the hood. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here in the back. I'm sure there's a rubber grommet or something that comes with it, but like I said, we bought this second hand. We didn't have any template or anything, so just a little bit of clear silicone on one of these little pieces here, because you know those things are pretty cheap, really. So anyway, there's with the hood up. Let me shut this hood and we'll get a good shot of it with the hood closed. So there it is, done. This MMD comes a little further down the hood than what a Roush does, and in my opinion, this looks a whole lot better than it would if it was up a little bit closer to the windshield cut off. So it actually looks really good on the car. It turned out really well for not having a template or any hardware or anything for the scoop. And everything lined up really well. And 3M tape got a little weary on us there, but we went ahead and got it straightened out, and I was able to get the backing off of all of it. And the car looks really good with it on there. So that's how I put a MMD hood scoop on a 2015 Mustang GT with no template or hardware. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Remember to give me a thumbs up. You can find me on Facebook, Project Lightning. And you can also find me, of course, on Instagram, Project Lightning with the number 1 behind it. Thanks for watching, guys.